This is question number 39. So let's have a look at this question. Right, the first part says write down the value of 5 to the power of 0. You need to recognize that anything to the power of 0 is 1. A million to the power of 0, 10,000 to the power of 0, 7 to the power of 0, it's 1. If it's a letter, x to the power of 0, e to the power of 0, abc to the power of 0, it's 1. Okay? You need to recognize that. Make sure you remember that, and always make sure you do get that right if you do get it in an exam. Look out for it right towards the back end of the paper. Part B, reciprocal. Reciprocal means to flip it, okay? But before we do that, think about this. 7 is a whole number, and 7 is really 7 over 1. All right? Any whole number that we have, it is really a fraction over 1. We don't write it in. If I flip that, I will get 1 over 7, okay? Do think about it. If I did have a fraction, if I had 3/4, if I flip that, right? So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4 over 3. Okay, straightforward enough. Flip it. Write down the value of 8 to the power of minus 2. This is part C. A minus power means I write 1 over that thing, the thing with the expression, but without the minus sign. So it's 1 over 8 squared. Okay, look at what I've done. We've done loads of these in class. The minus sign just means 1 over. All right, and if we square 8, we get 64. So there's my answer. 1 over 64. Don't just write the answer straight away, please. Show the additional stage. Show the 1 over 8 squared as part of your solution. Make sure you do show that. Part D, 81 to the power of a half. You need to recognize that anything to the power of a half is a square root. So I need to work out or write down the square root of 81. Do show both stages. Show the square root of 81. And show that it is 9. The square root of 81, you should know that. You should know the squares of the numbers from 1 to 15, right, and the respective square roots of those numbers. Okay, pretty straightforward so far. Let's look at part C, or part E even. Okay, we looked at something to the power of a half just now. That was a square root. Something to the power of a third, very similar thing, but this time it's a cube root. So the same square root symbol, but with a little 3 there. We need to work out the cube root of 8. What 3 same numbers times together to give you 8? The cube root of 8 is 2. Now again, show both stages of your workings in here. Make sure you show it all. All right, part F, the cube root of 125. What 3 same numbers times together to give you 125? Now 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So the cube root of 125 is simply going to be 5. So far, you should be familiar with all of this. We've done many of these in class. This should say 27 to the power of minus a third. Now remember what I said, a minus sign means I need to do 1 over. So this is 1 over 27 to the power of a third. Okay? From what we did in part E, a power of a third means cube root. So I need to do the cube root of 27. Okay, so this is the same as the cube root of 27. What is the cube root of 27? What 3 same numbers times together to give you 27? You should know it. It's 3. So the cube root of 27 is 3. So the answer to this is going to end up as 1 over 3. And so there's my result. You need to show all stages of this. As I indicated, 1 over 27 to the power of a third. 27 to the power of a third is the same as the cube root of 27. 1 over the cube root of 27, that's 1 over 3. That's it. This is a really straightforward question, popular in the exam. It could be as parts of questions. Make sure you understand all of them and are able to do them all.